What's up, everybody? I'm meteorologist Andrew Myers, bringing you guys your daily hail forecast, sponsored as always by C3 Group, Merlin Law Group, American Contractor, and Atlas. They're linked in the description to this video, so go ahead and check out the good work that they do. So we've got a 4-star recap. If you guys were with us on Friday, we had a 4-star storm that moved over Des Moines, Iowa. So we're going to talk a little bit about that. And then going into our risks for today and for tomorrow, we've got an East Coast and a Texas risk today. Looking like a lot of rain, some gusty winds, and possible spin-up tornadoes. So going into all of that good stuff, and then talking rainfall and the tropics. Again, rainfall for Texas is going to be pretty notable for today, pretty much from the weekend into the next couple of days. And then, you know, we got a tropical disturbance to fill you guys in on. So going into all of our weather stories, but first getting into our upcoming events. We're going to be at the OU versus UTEP tailgate. This is going to be by the Bud Wilkinson House on Jenkins Ave in Norman. So if you guys are new to Norman, if you've been here for a while, or if you're just a football fanatic and want to say hello to us at Hail Trace, we've got free food, we've got free beer, we got cornhole, we'll have the game on, and then you guys have a chance to win some box seats as well to some future games. So lots of reasons to get on out there. We hope to see you guys on September 3rd, and if not, we've got more coming up. Then after that, we're going to be at the RCAT MRCA Roofing Conference at the Fort Worth Convention Center. And that one's going to be from September 27th through the 29th. So go ahead and mark your calendars early, and we'll have more to come on that. And then, last but not least, as promised, going into our hailstorm highlight. So this was on Friday. Storm kind of popped up out of the blue in Des Moines and ramped up really quickly and went over West Des Moines, Clive, and Conesville. Most notably, West Des Moines and Clive were, you know, right on the outskirts of where this up to 3-inch hail impacted. So super large hail, got a ton of pictures of that. You guys can go ahead and check out our live coverage and our map for that as well if you want more details. But that impacted 19,000 homes, almost 20,000. So plenty of people within this swath as it tracked east. And then, you know, it started to fizzle out once it got into the Des Moines area. But again, we'll have more on that on our 4-star map review for that coming up. And then you guys can also review our live coverage and all that good stuff. So go ahead and check that out. The link to the map is on our Facebook page. Then for yesterday, it was going to be a lot more scattered, as it has tended to be for this time of year. So pretty much got nothing across the central U.S., but jumping down into the desert southwest, we did get a scattering of gusty wind reports as well as some severe hailstones here or there just to the south of Flagstaff. Then jumping off to the east through New York, through the Ohio Valley, more gusty wind reports to go around all the way from Kentucky up into the Great Lakes area. But again, it stayed super scattered yesterday, and that's kind of been the pattern that we've been seeing for quite a while here. So watching our jet stream, seeing what it's going to do, that's going to have a big impact on our storm chances, as well as when that fall second season starts to pick up, and with that rain and that heat that we so desperately need to kind of get rid of the heat and have more rain come in. So lots of factors playing into what this jet stream does, but here's what it looks like at 12 p.m. on Tuesday. So right now, this first low pressure system is kind of shifted off a little bit further to the west, and it's going to continue tracking towards the east coast. That's going to help us get those storms along the east coast later today. And then, you know, we've had that system tracking southward through Texas with another small low pressure system, and that's going to help us with those storm risks down there this afternoon and evening. But for the rest of us, we're going to be pretty much in this ridging pattern for most of the U.S. That's going to keep storm risks pretty scattered for the next couple of days, and we're going to be banking on these little low pressure systems swinging through the northern states to get us any larger scale, you know, organized severe weather systems into the next couple of days. There we go on Wednesday. We still got this trough that's kind of lingering through the east coast, so that could bring us some more storm chances, as well as the second one that's moving now into the Pacific Northwest. So we could get some sneaky storms through there through the middle and end of the week. But for most of us in the south, we're going to be relying on heat-driven, very scattered storms for the remainder of this week. So just stay tuned for those. But right now, you know, there it is. We're in that high pressure zone, and most of the central U.S. is seeing clear, sunny skies, right? And then where we have that smaller disturbance down in the south central plains, that's where we got that rain and that gusty wind chance for later this afternoon moving through. So jumping down there, tons of rain impacting the DFW area right now. It's been pouring through a lot of Texas, Louisiana, even into Alabama, getting heavy rains. And then we'll start to see some systems picking up, possibly spinning up, getting us a little bit of a tornado chance into this afternoon and evening, as well as primarily gusty winds, and then again, just a ton of rain. So if you guys are in Texas, you've been seeing those drought conditions and that crazy heat for the past few weeks, you are getting some rain that'll help resolve that, but unfortunately with just how dry the ground has been, that can result in some flash flooding. So just be on the lookout for that today into tomorrow. Then along the East Coast, that's where that low pressure system is moving through, and you can see parts of it kind of already making its way out into the Atlantic, but through the coastal Carolinas as well as Virginia, all the way up into Pennsylvania and New York, we'll again start to see some scattered storm coverage moving through, and with that, you know, we could get all sorts of good stuff, primarily wind though, through the East Coast. So the rest of us are going to actually be pretty pleasant, even though we are in that high pressure system. We've had a couple of cold fronts move through and have backed us down into the mid 70s and even the low 80s through Kansas City. So a lot of us are sitting in pretty pleasant conditions right now, if not a little bit muggy, but you know, not the triple digits that we were seeing earlier. 91 degrees in Houston, 92 in Miami are going to be the records for today's heat right now, and we'll see what happens as we continue to heat up south of that cold front through Texas. Then for dew points, you know, where you see those deep greens, that's just where it's muggy outside. 72-degree dew points in Dallas, and I mean, it's raining. It's near temperature, so I mean, this environment's just super saturated through there. So super muggy and rainy through Dallas. 77-degree dew points in New Orleans, 71 in Atlanta, so lots of mid-70s through the south and the east today. That's going to help us continue those rain chances into this afternoon and evening, and then, you know, as we get that instability building up and that heat ahead of all of that, we'll start to see some more isolated cells going up and potentially producing some severe weather. So here we are right now. By 1 p.m., got some storms making their way through San Angelo and Dallas. You guys are still on the south end of the metro in that heavy rain, as well as those gusty winds. Shreveport as well. Going to see lots of cities lingering in that heavy rainfall. 3:30 p.m. Dallas is still expected to be getting some rain, as well as Shreveport, and then all the way west into San Angelo. Again, as that system slowly tracks southward. Now, as it continues to move towards San Antonio here and up towards Fort Polk, Louisiana, we're going to continue to see some, you know, again, heavy rains and gusty winds. So here we have our severe chance still, but then once things start moving towards Houston, it's expected to fizzle out just a little bit into the early morning hours, and then just some scattered showers through the area by 6 a.m., but lots of us still in that rain for tomorrow morning. Then for the East Coast, completely different story. You got that low pressure system moving through, so it should be in and out pretty quick, and it's also going to be very scattered coverage. So here we are by 5 p.m. Central, 6 p.m. Eastern. Got these storms making their way through Washington, D.C., Baltimore area, as well as making a run into New Jersey, a couple isolated cells here and there. Not a ton of cold upper air temperatures and not a ton of instability through the area either. So we're just primarily relying on the upper level winds from that low pressure system swinging through to potentially get us some damaging wind gusts as those continue to move off the coast. And they do. There we go by 10 p.m. Seeing less and less coverage as the night goes on, and then you should be waking up to a pretty clear morning, unlike the south central plains. So here's our wind forecast for today. Not a ton of us in the risk for hail. Like I said, it's just pretty warm in the upper levels, and there's just not that lift that we need today to see those updrafts forming hail. But we do have a wind threat for the East Coast as well as through the southern plains here. So if you guys are anywhere from San Angelo into San Antonio, specifically Waco and Shreveport, that's where you're likely to see some storms today, and then gusty winds centered here in this swath here through much of central and eastern Texas all the way into far western Mississippi. Shreveport area specifically to just north of Lake Charles area, West Texas and Louisiana. Could see some rotating storms. Already got a couple this morning, so we could see a couple more spin-up tornadoes along that line as they continue to track southward. So again, be on the lookout for that, but overall low-end chances for you guys. Then up into the East Coast, all the way from Charlotte into New York City, could get some gusty winds, but again, very scattered coverage through there, so low wind chances once again across the board, but any of those storms could collapse and produce some gusty winds or just kind of ramp up. We'll see what happens through there. Then into tomorrow, watching the northern plains, we've got that mini trough that's kind of swinging through, and then we also, again, get a little bit cooler up here, so we do have a better chance for hail. 4:30 p.m. Central, starting to see those isolated cells track their way through the central parts of northern and southern Dakota, North and South Dakota, and then, you know, as those track through, we'll see more coverage increasing by around 6:30 p.m. Any of these could produce some isolated hail, and then starting to lose that hail typical kind of storm structure down in the northern and North Dakota, South Dakota border here. And then as those continue to track eastward, again, we start to lose that structure that's typical of hailstorms, but we do start to see some heavy rain picking up once again through the area by 9 p.m. And then we should be out of the severe threat by the early morning hours for you guys. So I am putting out a hail forecast for you guys for tomorrow through, again, North and South Dakota, Bismarck and Minot specifically. You guys have a chance of seeing some severe storms. It's going to be a very short-lived period of severe weather, but you could get some hailstones up to $1 to $half size through that region. And then once they track east, the further east they get, the lower chance you're going to see of any severe hail into tomorrow. Then filling you guys in on some Texas rain chances, because, you know, it's not your severe hail or severe wind, but the drought coupled with that crazy rain that's moving through the area could get us some flash flooding. So I want to talk about that. So for the past ever, it seems the southern plains have been in a drought condition, and through southern and western Texas, we've got exceptional drought through the area. So just not a ton of rain this summer. It's been super dry, super hot. You guys know the story. And it's been like that through much of the west here, but Texas specifically is getting hit by that rain today. And that could impact you guys, again, getting us a little bit of flash flooding through the area. So if you're wondering how much rain and what cities are going to be impacted, here's the 3 that I'm looking at specifically for today into tonight. So first of all, Austin and Dallas. You guys are going to be seeing the rain pick up before Houston. So by today, by 5, Dallas already looking at possibly a 1/4 inch of rain, as well as Austin, Texas. Then once that system continues to sink down to the south, we're going to see Houston getting hit later this evening into tonight, and then there's a chance that that rainfall amount could spike up if those storms can redevelop over you into tomorrow morning. So Houston, not much expected for today, but you're in the thick of it for tomorrow. Dallas and Austin, looking like you guys could get quite a bit of rain today. And again, a 1/4 inch of rain can produce some flooding conditions. So just watch those roadways, watch any riverbeds. You know, you're going to see some rising water amounts, so you just want to be on the lookout for that into today and tomorrow. Then last but not least, leaving you guys with the tropics as usual. So this is kind of our tropical climatology that we usually see, and, you know, putting in together all of our hurricanes, all of our tropical storms and hurricanes or major hurricanes based on the day of the year, okay? So, you know, mid-September, that's usually when we start to see a spike in just all sorts of named systems. Hurricanes also seeing a spike, and then a smaller one in the beginning of September for major hurricanes, but, you know, we're moving towards the beginning of September, and overall, that's when we start to see our peak activity. Right now, it's been quiet, guys. We haven't seen a ton, but we are moving towards that statistical peak. So we're going to see what happens in the Atlantic over the next few days. This is our only system to talk about right now. There is one disturbance that is moving to the west, pretty much due west, off the coast of Africa once again. Not a ton of a chance to see that develop over the next 2 days as it continues into better conditions towards the western basin. But over the next 5 days, it could organize itself a little bit as it moves into the Caribbean area. So we're going to be, again, watching this closely again as we move towards that peak season. So just keep an eye out for this. Keep an eye out for all of our updates on your severe weather, flooding, tropical. We try to let you guys know what's happening in your area. You can follow us on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Hit See First on Facebook so you never miss a live video. And then go ahead and follow us on TikTok if you want to see some fun shorts about weather and what we do around the office. And then if you want to get in contact with us, you can call us at 855-334-4245. You can also email us if you'd rather at info@hailtrace.com or check out our website, hailtrace.com, for more details. And we'll keep you advised on all your severe weather risks. But for now, I'm meteorologist Andrea Myers. Thanks for watching.